Hi there. This is Anne from La Belladonna Vintage Creations, and um, I am so happy to be here today. I have some really fun things to show you. I know I've been away for a few weeks. My precious Charlie, who would come down and craft with me, my little cat, got seriously ill, and he is no longer with me. So I'm trying to heal from that. But this is not the time for that. So what I want to do is focus on something creative and something beautiful, as we all love to do together. And I'm so glad to be here with you today. What I did was a little bit a few days ago, there was, I had gotten this bag of stamps, and in it was this one, which is just so charming. And it gave me this idea of just taking some coffee dyed paper and stamping it and using some fancy scissors. It was something mindless to do to kind of get my mind off of things. And that's what we do often. We use our crafts to, clear our minds and do something interesting, beautiful, and fun. So that was how it started. And what I did then was I accumulated I have some pre made tags that I had gotten at, I believe it might have been Goodwill. It was a big stack of them. And I thought, you know what? I'll just round the corners on the bottom. I would just distress them a little bit. And because I did that, I thought, wow, why don't I do some little ones too, so that maybe I could use a bulb pin and kind of gather some of these together and attach them. And so on and so on. And then I had this music paper. I did kind of the same thing with the music paper as I did with the stamp. I kind of take some pieces off. I wanted to use them for layering. And again, this was some things that I could do just sitting at the kitchen table. Very mindless, not having to worry about anything, just to move my hands a little bit, which I did. So yesterday I came down and found some really pretty papers, and I thought, we can tear those and we can collage them maybe on some of these tags. And I brought some really pretty laces and fabrics and bits and pieces. I just kind of gathered a lot of stuff together here, and I'm going to use some of those on there too. I took apart some flowers because I thought, you know what, you can kind of turn them, you can move them around a little bit, group them together or whatever, put a stone in the middle, just, to kind of jazz it up a little bit. And so I did that too. So these were all things that I decided to just work with. This was another big one. I have a lot of silk flowers. I did a lot of bridal, and I am, overstocked with a lot of silk flowers of all kinds. But I took these in particular, the colors I thought were perfect. And that I thought maybe I could put a button or something in there. So that remains to be seen. We'll just kind of see where it takes us. But I'm going to move some of this to the side. I've got some really pretty trim. A lot of this I've gotten at Crafty Me Shop, Esme. And I know that if you've watched my videos before, you know that I use a lot of her things, plus, a lot of my stash too. But it kind of salt and pepper everything together. And she has her sales on the weekends. She starts usually on a Friday and continues Saturday and Sunday too sometimes, and a lot of times lately. So you can go on her Crafty Me Shop Facebook page, and you can apply to request membership, and that's what she does. And it's paid by PayPal is what I do. So they'll kind of tell you what all you need to know about that. But anyway, let me just move this to the side a little bit. I'm going to set this over here. Over here, I have some of these good paper things, and I thought, we'll just do, kind of put things together and see where it takes us. I just put piles. And then in here, I added a few other little things, and I did distress them a little bit because I thought, why not just get some of this done? Over here, I even have some tea bags. Now, these are big tea bags. What it was is there's this... I saw it. I got it at Walmart, and they were iced tea bags, and they have the sweetener right in with them. So they're big tea bags, and I bought. They were on sale. They were clearanced. I bought a few boxes of those because I love iced tea, and so these are just great, and they're so big you have to kind of cut them. I did cut some here. So anyway, they could be used too. So I think we're just going to have a little fun. This is going to be a real nice time for me to just dig back in again and be a little bit creative. So let's begin. I think what I'd like to do to begin with, I've got my bone folder here should I need it, is to start with some of these tags, and we'll go from there. Let's do that. And I'm not a fast worker, but anyway, I thought we would just, I'll put these over here, kind of grab from here and there and see what we can come up with. I have some blank pieces of coffee dyed paper. I just love using those too because, and oh my gosh, I love them. So anyway, let's do. Now I'm going to set this on the side, and I'll take some things out as I need it. Okay, because I don't have a lot of space here to work, so I need all the space I can get. So let's start with this. Now, there's some really pretty colors in these. These pages are so big with these. It was a 12 by 12, and I got it at Hobby Lobby. I always get it when they have them on sale. And this, I was surprised it's very thin. So that's why I decided to kind of back them onto these heavier. These are very nice and heavy duty tags. So we're going to do that. And I'm just deciding on what I want to use it with. If I want to use, I like that. So I think I'm going to go first with that one. And let's do that. And we've got some, let's see, we've got a little bit of the tea bags. I have a really pretty, we're going to do this maybe in the back, I thought would be nice. Let's use a little bit of music paper, but I think I'm going to use it in strips maybe on the side. We're going to just, and this, I think I'd like to use it, but I want to tear it instead of just placing it there. And I love to do that. I love to tear. And I don't tear great. Let's face it. We're doing this for fun and for enjoyment, and let's just take a little bit more off of that. Okay. And I'm going to distress a little bit too. I'm going to do that. And I'm using a vintage photo. That's my go-to, even though I have other colors, and I'm going to be using them. I have to use these other colors because they're just great. And I watched some of the ladies using them, and I'm so impressed with how they turn out, the different colors. So I should use those, and I will, I promise. So we're going to start with something like that. And I think we're going to use a little bit of the music paper, maybe. Oops, maybe this way. Not sure how I want to do that. I want to also use some some pretty lace. And I'm thinking that this would be so pretty under it. Like so. And I like the edges to be a little off center. So I'm thinking I might like to do that and maybe put this over here. So that's where I'm going to start. I had no ideas in mind as to what I was going to do with them. I just put together a bevy of all kinds of things and decided that's, how I'm going to start. Now, I don't worry about it going over the hole here, because I can always make that hole, again with my crocodile or whatever. So I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to use some stick glue, I think, on this. I think it's going to look better, I hope. Oh, I think this is dry. Yep, I think it is. So let's use this one instead. Excuse me. This is going to be a purple one. Okay. I had my granddaughters went back to school, but as you know, when I talked to you before, they spend a lot of time with me, which I love, and they know that I have a lot of supplies and that, so they're always in need of wonderful supplies to craft with and to play with, and I think that's, you gotta love that. So so I have to look and make sure I've got more of that somewhere. I will find it. I'm trying to think if I want to squinch a little bit of this before I put, let me put this, make sure I'm in the view here. I don't know right now. Not quite ready for that. Let's look. I think because this is kind of open, I might like to put some of that music on that side. But before I do that, let me see here. I have got this amazing, beautiful lace here. Oh my God, this is so gorgeous. Oh, I absolutely love it. And this I got from Esme. Oh, I absolutely love this color. And I love greens, I love pinks. And even, using this pink there, it just has a little bit of green. I still love it. I still love it. So I would like to use some of that right up here. And this is the right way. And again, I kind of like to let my scallops hang off a little bit. And I'll trim all that when I get done. Okay, so the next thing, I think, will be putting this down. I think that would look pretty. Now with that, I'm going to use a little bit of hot glue. Now, I like to always put a little bit of something bunched up on the bottom, and I'm wondering if I can maybe use some of this same one because it's very pretty. And believe it or not, I have a bolt of it. And this is so vintage. I used to do a lot of Victorian work. And I used to buy bolts and bolts of lace from a company years ago. And I still have so much of that. So anyway, I think I'm gonna wonder if I want to just do it across. I think so. Let's just be fancy. Let's just go across. I hope everybody is having a very good day. The weather has kind of eased a little bit over here. We've had such terrible heat and rain. We had a lot of rain over the weekend, storms. So I had planned originally to go out to my cottage in Wisconsin, but I changed my mind because I'm still we're at this point over here in the house where we've got some different dynamics going on with my remaining cat Maggie, and she's my Siamese, and she is just this sweetheart. I just absolutely love her, and she's having a little hard time right now because both of her brothers are gone, and my other cat Mike, he was 25 when we lost him, when I lost him, and Charlie was 17, and now Maggie's 18, and you know, every time with them is so precious, you know, and she's kind of having a rough go here, so we are gonna just take care of Maggie and her and what she needs. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to put this here, I think. Now I'm going to kind of see where I want to settle everything. I like that, but of course, what I want to do is put something nice under it, and I'm trying to think if I want to put a little bit of, I could do that. I think we can take a little bit of this, it's like a nylon, almost like you would have in a curtain or something, I think. It could be. So I think we're going to just layer, because I think I just like to layer a lot. So, and also, let me see what else have we got here. I have this. Let's see how that color looks with it. We can maybe use some of this too. I don't know for sure. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's see here what we've got. I have got this. Oh, and that could be pretty too. So I think we're going to think about that. I do like this. So let's go underneath here and use, I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue and kind of scrunch a little bit. I like to do that. Kind of gives it a different kind of a look. And she's there, and that's good. But we need a little bit more color. So let me see. What have we got here? I have that. Let's see. I know I have this color. I have to say I'm not one of those very organized crafters. I start out that way, but it doesn't turn out that way. Let's see, I've got a little bit of this pretty green. Do we want that instead? I think we could maybe do that. Let me see. We will see both. We can do this and put this here and her. Or we can just do the green. So let's see. Let me take a piece of the green off. So how is the weather by everybody? I'm hoping, now with the summer, summer went by awfully fast, I have to say, this year. It really, really went by quickly. And I was taking the granddaughters to the pool over here, our St. Charles pool, and I was really loving it. So I feel kind of bad that now summer is really, really over. And unfortunately, you have to just deal with it. So, and the girls are back at school. But next week, being Labor Day, I'm going to take them to Wisconsin with me. So we're going to have a little bit of fun out there at the cottage, and we'll just have a little bit of time together. And they love doing that. So we are going to do that. Okay. There's that. And let me see, I want to make sure we have some of that out. So we see some of this good stuff. And now I think we're going to put her maybe there, but I do want to put something under her. So we are going to maybe use, I think so. Let's do that. Let me use this. And we'll put that like so. So we've got all kinds of nice layers, little bit of everything. And then I'll find some way to fix that top to make it, to put a little extra there. Okay, little girl, let's see where we're going to put you. I think right there is okay. She's kind of big. I know, changing my mind in midstream, huh? She's the same size, so I don't know why I'm looking at those. Let's see, we can do, I'll tell you, let's do this. Let me take a piece of this. And we'll go, I don't know, let's, wow. Can I be so wrong on some of these things that I had in mind? But that's okay. That's okay. I will. Here's one that's nice. Oh, I think so. I think so. Let's see if I got that on that one. I like the beautiful. Let me see if I could do that with her. That's also pretty and says beautiful. I think I like her because that's what I wanted to do right from the beginning. So, you know, let's try that. Okay. Let's put this down. This was just, I had a book that I took some stamps, some of these stamps, and I just sat one day, and in the book I just kept stamping away, and leaves and words and all those good things. And this is where that came from. And we'll do this like so. And okay, I'm going to do the bottom first. And we'll do the top. Oopsie poops. Oops. There. Okay. There. Now I have, let's see, I've got some, we can do that. Although I kind of would like to keep that for the lady instead of the little girl. So let me see what else I could find here. We can put a number up here. We can do that. And I saw this also. I was wondering if I shouldn't just put this, that you can just open it and look. I kind of like that idea, but I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter. Let me even it out. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. And go a little bit shorter. And then I think I would like to just set it right there. Across there first. Like so. Like that. So she's covered nicely. And then we have this, which we could put there, I guess. I don't think this is a sticker. No. I can set that there maybe, see if that we like, or let me continue. I have some stamps. Do I want to do that? There's like a green one. I kind of like that. And let's see, there's the darker one. It's not talking to me. Not talking to me. Let's see. That's too big. I almost think I like the stamp. Let's look. Let's re-look at that and see if that's what we like or not. Hold on. Let's see. We've got that. And we can put, what do we want to put? Anything under that? I like it, you know, because it brings in a little bit of that. And I kind of like that idea. And well, I think I'm just going to maybe put it toward the top there. And let me see what this one would look like. But I think that's going to be too big. Oh, actually, I kind of like that. All right, we're going to do it. We're just going to do this. Okay. I'm going to do it this way, like so. And I'm going to, here's my crocodile. I just want to, whoops, just want to go in there. Let's see here. This will work. Just want to get in there. Oops, boy, was I off. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, so there you go. Let me put that to the side. So we're going to have to hide that. That was really bad. I will take care of that later. But anyway, this is our first one. So, you know, this is what we've got to start with. So let's continue. What I'd like to do maybe would be to put maybe a couple of these hanging off to the side, but we'll see. I might just do them separate. So we're going to put this to the side here. Set this here. And we'll start another one. I have this. And I think that we're going to maybe, let's see here. What have I got? Let's see, that's got some nice color in it. I like that. But do I want to use the green? Because I do like that green. I don't know. Let's try it. What can it hurt, right? Okay. And I might just put it like at the edge there. I might just do that. So let's do this. Okay. Yeah, you know, when you're away from it for a little while, you're rusty. You know, I'm just trying to just get back into the groove of things. You know, working at it is what I'm doing. And so, forgive me if you know I'm just not thinking clearly. Apologize. Okay, now let's do that. Whoop. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm going to set this here right up to the top. Okay, and then I think I had some more of that. Yeah, I do. I had just a couple strips of this left. I think I'm just gonna set that there because I kind of like the music there. So I'll put that there. Okay. like so. And then I think I'm going to put some of this stuff here. Just kind of, maybe we'll squish it up on the top, maybe. That would work. Just trying to do something a little different than the other one that I did. Okay. And again, I'm not going to worry about the hole in the middle, because what I'll do, once I get that hole done correctly, then I will put a nice sari silk or some seam binding or something nice that would be in there is what I would like to do. So next, let's see what we've got here. Let's look. I have some of this. I like that. That's just kind of see-through. I have this absolutely amazing. Oh, God, I love this. And I'm wondering if I should just, like, put it on the side. Let's see how long we would have that. Maybe this way. Let me do this way here. I got this when Esme was having a sale, and it was just, it is so gorgeous. Let me just cut this edge off like so. And then I'm going to just cut this a little bit. Okay. Kind of make it a little bit more scruffy. But the picture is just so pretty. So pretty. It's perfect for that. But I'd like to put a little bit maybe of that lace underneath it. So let's see, what have I got here? I've got, this is kind of netting, but I don't know. I don't want that. Nope, 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 nope. Let's see here. This might be just a little bit too, yeah. It's got to be something really lightweight, and I'm probably going to go back to that original one that I used because it's so delicate and so light. So if I were to use that on part of it, I think so. I think so. I'm going to just cut it right here and just see where I'm going to go with it, because you need something with this heavy and this is heavy. You kind of need a little bit of something lightweight, you know. And maybe I should put it right at the beginning of where that tea bag is all scrunched. And let's see if that would look nice on there. I think it would. I do. I think so. Or bring it up a little. I could probably bring it up a little further. Wouldn't hurt. You know. I think so. It's not going to hurt. So let me take this off. Okay. There. Put this on the side. So we got that. And I don't want to put a picture on there because it's got the picture, but maybe I'm wondering if that can go on, because it's almost like a two-part. This kind of goes with that a lot. This kind of goes with this a lot, and I think maybe that would look pretty together. I think it would. And I have here some, let me find it. I have got, let's use this. Okay. Knitting. I love knitting. I really do. And I have also, let's see here. I've got gauze too. You know, that's something. I'm going to take it out just in case. So that I'll put there for a moment. So if we use the netting under there, let's see what that does. can't be seen, so we don't want that. Let's find something we can see, and this would be probably the best. This is a really open weave net gauze, very open weave, and I get different kind. I have this, and then I have the really tight one. I like them both. It doesn't really matter. Oh, I just like that, actually. And then to put this right in there. So I'm thinking that let's get some of this put on here. Okay. I'm just going to set it in place like so. And turn this, oh, pretty much of it I got. Okay, I'll put this here, like this, and I have to use this because I don't want to burn my fingers today. Just gonna, and this works out really good. And this I just need to, I don't want to put a lot. I just want it right to the edge there. Okay, there we go. All right. So some of this is going to be looser because the tag is further in. So now we want to put this here, like so. The open weave really gives it such character, doesn't it? I think so anyway. There. And here's my pretty picture. Oh, I could put a little bit more of this out, maybe. Let's see if we couldn't just, yeah, let's try that way. So we can at least see the gauze. And then some this way. I think so. Okay, there we go. Okay, come back here. And maybe a little bit here, like so. Yeah. Now, I want to do a little bit down here, but I'm not sure yet what I want to do. I'm not sure, but I have some really pretty ribbon. I can just use some of that maybe just to scrunch a little bit down on the bottom. And then up here, maybe something a little different. So I have to look. Oops. Let's see. I think that's all the green. Oh, wait. Let's see. I've got this. I should have done that underneath there. That would have been dynamite. No? Shoot. Okay, that's all right. And then we can put, let's see if we can put, let me see. I've got some, I've got that I set aside here. I've got some of these, but I'm going to do those later. Let's see what we have in here. This is, let's see what that color does. Is this. Okay, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Let's see. Of course, this is always a possibility. Paris is great, but I need to do something on the bottom. That's where I need to scrunch something on the bottom, and that's what I've got to find. So I'm going to have to use a little bit of something, a little lace or something on the bottom there. Let's see if we can use some of this pretty stuff. That is really pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do this. I know this is pretty white, but let's just try it out. Oh, and then I have this too. Oh, maybe I like that. I just needed something on this bottom here. So let's try both. If I do this, I'm going to cut it, of course. That's way too wide. There's that. And there's this. You know, I almost like this better. I really do. I think I do. So let me just cut this. You know, I'm going to do it. Okay. There. And then I'm just going to scrunch together. Okay, let's do it. Oh, first of all, I want to cut this. Okay. And it's got some thread hanging, so I have to fix that. But we will do it. You know, we really do like it. You know, I'm not one for mixing the whites and the ivories and the, you know, beiges and stuff. I have a hard time with that. I've got to let go, you know? You just have to just go for it. Okay, so that's there. Okay, I'm liking that. Do I want any of this in here? Nah, it's going to be overkill. And then let's see if we can do this maybe down here, maybe. There's this that I could attach. I still like this number. I think that's, but I do like Paris. So I'm thinking that Paris on the bottom might be pretty okay. So let me put, there's this wonderful piece of shiny stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's lovely. And I think we're just going to set that there. Because there was, you know, there's that, the edge of that lace, you know, you kind of almost need something to separate it. And then my pretty Paris. Okay, there's that. Now, I don't know if we're done yet because I'm just thinking now. Now we're going to go to this top here. And let me just look and see if this will do something, because it's so pretty. This was an applique, and I can maybe take a piece of this and let's see what it does. I think so. I like that. I do. So let me just run this across here. And let's run it across that. I like that. Yuppers. Oops. Okay. So we're getting there. I want this to lay down a little bit though. Okay. So it's not, I don't want it to flap there. And then this also on that lace. Let's just put a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now, let me see where we're at. Okay, so now we've got something on the top that we need to add. And here's a little stamp. We can add that there, and I think I will do that. I want to just cover up all that, that tag, because it's just such a generic tag, you know? And I think I just needed to have something just covering. And I think I'm going to just put a little dab of this hot glue to kind of keep this down a little. And now let's see where we're at. Let's cut some of this, although it doesn't matter, you know. Cut some of that. And next, is there ever a ending? I'm one of those people, you know, just have to keep going. And I think I'm just gonna, for good luck, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this in that top area so that that corner's not empty. And I think then we'll call it done. I say that, but we'll see. Okay. There. Okay. There. Some of that off. But now we have this. So we need something there. Just on account of. So let's look in here and see what I have, if I have anything down on the bottom here. I do not, but I might have something here. You know what would be pretty? Let me just see this for a minute. I've got, let's do this. I have a bulb pin here, and these are really pretty pearl buttons. And I think maybe 2 pearl buttons might be just so, don't lose it, would be kind of pretty there. Let's just see what that looks like there. Okay, there we go. It's hard to get through where the hot glue is, you know. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. I think so. I think we're just going to take this down a little bit, though, I think. Yep, I'm going to do that. And we're just going to tack just a little bit so it stays back and behaves itself. And I think we're done with that one. So that's another one. And I'm going to try something little here. Well, maybe I'll do, I don't know. I've got some, let's work on this. Let's take some of this. Let's take some paper. Let's take one of these things. Let's look at what we've got. Let me see this even. Let's see. I'm just wondering. This is really pretty. Look at this. Wow. Maybe we need to do that. These are, I got these, Hobby Lobby had them, it's their paper, what is it called here? I've got it on the floor. Let me find it for you. It's the Paper Studio, and it's the, that's just their die cuts. There's 50 designs, 2 of each, 100 pieces. It was, I think they were 40% off, I want to say. And I thought, wow, there's some really nice things in there, you know, so let us just take some out and see what we can find. And I took a bunch of them. I like them. I think they're really pretty. So maybe this would be nice to make one like that. That's kind of going out of my comfort range because I usually don't do something like this. I will usually, what did I do with my cover here? I lost it. Oh, here it is. I was going to say, gee, many crickets. So anyway, that's kind of out of my comfort range. So let's try it. You know, why not? Right? So I don't know if I want to use, I'm not sure if I want to use that behind it. I'm Not sure if I want to do that yet, but we're going to just kind of check things out a little bit. I would really, really love to use this. I know this is kind of blue, but it'll pick up on that. So let me see this. Putting this in there, maybe. No, I think it requires more paper than it does. Let me see here. I think it requires more paper than it does fabric. So we got that, and we have that. Okay. I kind of like to show that treble clef. I love that. So, okay. I like that. Let me think. I've got this. That's something too. As a little bit of layering. Let's see if we've got something else that's maybe this instead. Can go in there like so. Let's see. This. I think let's just do something. So what I'm going to do is take some of this off. I'm going to use the glue stick to just put this down. Oops, let me get some more on here. Okay. All right. And you know, I usually will wind up coming down and looking at things and going over some things, and a lot of times will do that and change things a little bit. Unfortunately, I wind up doing that. But okay, I'm gonna just tear some of this off like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, just has to be down. Okay, so that's that. And then, let's see, we can put, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut some of this instead of using the whole thing. Okay, let's do this. Kind of like that raggedy thing there. We'll see what that looks like. We got this. That gives us a little bit of, and it's covered it all up. So I'm telling ya, I'm going to go a little bit more to the top because I can make another hole there. That way I can have a little bit more stuff in there. And I want to see that pretty design there. Like so, I think. And then we can, I really just have to use that, don't I? Let's see here. We have some of this that we can put, but I don't know. We may. Okay. I'm wondering. I don't want to just put her down here because that's just, I'm going to use her for something else. Let me see, what does this look like down here? We can do that, but I think we can take that off. Let me see what else we have here. This side is a little different. Okay, let's try that side. Okay, I like it. So let me put this little guy down. And like so. I'm gonna bring it up a little ways. So, like I said, could make a new hole in there and go from there. And then I'm gonna put this down here. Okay. Let's see, we can put that there maybe. Or do we want to go down lower? If I put Let's do some of this and scrunch it. And let's see, we could put that over it. Oh, wait. It came unscrunched. Okay, let me do that, like so. There, that's better. Okay, better. And then I can put this underneath, but then what do I want to put in the middle? Let's see. We have stuff. Let's see. I'm going to put something pretty like that. I think that would be nice. Maybe. This one's a little smaller. I love Lily of the Valley. Let's see what else is in here. Some of these are pretty flowers. Let's see what we can do in just a rose, maybe. That's just too big. That's the wrong color. Let's see here. Oh my, that's too many words. Oh, that's kind of nice. I think so. So, yeah. And then there's a butterfly. Do I want to use a butterfly? I'm not a butterfly using kind of person. I don't know why. I see everybody using them and they're so cute, but for some reason, I don't know. I don't want to use that. I want something tinier. So let me put this in place, like this. Put that up there. Okay. Make sure I have the right side here. Okay. It's got a string or something on it, and I keep pulling it. So let's see if we can just get it on there in some way. Okay. A little bit there. Okay. Like this. And then this on top of it. And then my cute little thing right on top of it. Oh, I think so. Okay. Like so. So I made something with like a postcard, which is really kind of out of my comfort zone. But I did it. You know, I got to start doing that. Kind of working a little bit out of my comfort zone. I have, you know, we all get into those ruts, and I'm one of those people. So let me show you what we've done here. I've got that one, and I've got the first one with a little peekaboo, and then I have this one that's got a little bit more fabric, because that's, again, out of my comfort zone. So, and using white. So that kind of is a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I kind of did it. But you know what? I like this. I think this is almost my favorite, because I never did a postcard like that before. And what I plan to do is maybe put something in the back. You know, a little bit of a, maybe I can use, just out of curiosity, you know, let me just see what I've got here for a second. Let me look. Let's see. even if I were to take one of these and just used it as a pocket to be able to kind of put something, something pretty inside. I don't know what yet, but I mean, just to put some maybe even some of these if I could make them and set them inside. I'm going to be decorating those, but at this point I don't have them. Well, I got this much done, which I thought is pretty good considering. So I hope that you enjoyed this kind of craft along with me time, and I thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you, and you know, just go there and go out and do something nice for yourself. You are well appreciated, and you need to sometimes just take a little time out for yourself. And so have a wonderful weekend. I may talk to you again before Labor Day, but if I shouldn't, have a wonderful Labor Day. Take care now. Thank you. Bye.